G'day guys, Ronnie Dale, Four Wheeling Australia. Just thought I'd give you my first impressions on the Hilux since I've owned it for 5-6 days, not even a week yet, but I've done about 600 kilometers in it. We did some off-road testing yesterday and I was quite impressed with how this actually performed, even with the highway tyres, although that is one of the weak points I will discuss about this vehicle. So in this video, like I said, my first impressions, what I've recently done to it with the decals and the tinting, and what my current first mods plan list is, which I'm not going to do yet, but I just want to tell you where my thought process is at the moment, because it may surprise you. It surprised me of what mods I've already got at the top of my list that I need to do to this stock vehicle. We're going to talk about the strong points, the weak points, and just how I'm generally finding it. The first thing I just want to, tackle right here. Others people have asked me the question if I have sold my 79 series Landcruiser. No, I haven't. In fact, I'm heading off in a couple of days, heading up to Exmouth, and we're going to do a bit of a trip up there. That's going to be done in the 79, and that'll be with Torben in his 79 as well. So that's coming up, and we're actually going to do a live show up there, so stay tuned for that. There'll be some dates announced a bit later on the YouTube story, and of course on Instagram as well. So more details to come with the live show. We're going to shoot up there, live show from the beach. It'll be pretty cool. I have to say it's been really fun hopping back into a stock vehicle, and I think this is going to improve my driving skills again, because you really have to think, otherwise you're going to damage your car. We put it through its paces yesterday. Now I did hold back a little bit on some areas, and because I want to do a full review and talk about the car as it is first before I possibly go and damage something. And I already damaged the side step on the passenger side going over a bit of a log test, but let's have a quick snippet of going off-road. Here we go. This is the first test. Hopefully we don't bottom out too much. Got the rear diff lock on. I have it in full drive low. Oh my god. Definitely going to bottom out. Surely. Turn the collision sensor off. The Hilux has 279mm of clearance. That is quite incredible. Well, that's the first test done. That was a lot of fun. And we're essentially on two wheels right now. That's the wombat hole test done. I think we'll head over to the logs now and see what it feels like. Now, we did lower the tyres to 20 PSI. They were at about 32. That seems to be good, even with 18-inch rims. Let's do the next test. Interesting. Okay. There's a hole there now, it's going to avoid. Back wheels okay? That was a side step. That was a side step. No! Let's check the side step out.
They don't take much, do they? I mean, even there, you'll snap it with your foot.
It's always bent back.
It's almost back.
Oh yeah, that's an angle. Feel pretty comfortable. You're sitting quite low on the chair, so I feels kind of comfortable. In the 70 series, I reckon I feel a lot worse. Let's talk about the number one weak points on the Hilux so far, and that is the highway terrain tyres. Now, these 18-inch rims have actually surprised me a bit. It's not too bad, even with only this much sidewall. That said, I'm still going to change the 18-inch rims to a 17-inch rim and put not all terrain tyres and not mud terrain tyres. We'll go for something in between. Another tyre test coming up. Let's talk about things that impressed me with this vehicle so far. The strongest point with this vehicle when it comes to capability are the diff lockers. A stock vehicle with diff lockers, I reckon, would go further than a lifted vehicle with better tyres on it. That diff locker, as you saw through that wombat hole section, it's just, I can't stress enough how good diff lockers are. Diff lockers are awesome. And to get a vehicle with its stock, it just makes it so capable. So if you are looking at any stock four-wheel drive, if you can get one with a diff locker, you're going to be super happy. Another thing that's impressed me is the wheel travel on the rear. Very good, more than I expected. I reckon once this thing is sort of kitted out a bit later, I reckon this could possibly have more wheel travel than my 79 series Landcruiser on the back. The front is always going to be limited because it's an IFS vehicle. It is so light at the moment that it lifts the back more than it lifts the front. So with my heavy 79 series Landcruiser, because it's quite heavy on the back, it seems to be lifting the front most of the time. It rarely ever lifts the rear. At some point, I'm going to add weight to the back and it should be quite a stable vehicle. But if I overload it, it's going to end up like the 79 and it's going to end up lifting the front wheel a lot more. Another thing that I'm super impressed about are the headlights. They are phenomenal, to be honest. There must be HIDs in the actual high beams. We've got to work that out on the screen if I'm correct or wrong. They're phenomenal. Like the throw that they have, these are the best headlights I've ever had from stock on a vehicle. There's definitely LEDs in there, obviously, but I reckon there must be a HID there because it throws the lights so damn far. Quite incredible. Look, out in the bush, you can definitely tell, like, you know, extra light would be needed for proper off-roading if this is what you're going to do a lot of. But for the highway, it's almost enough.
Please obey all traffic regulations.
So here's a cool story. So, as you remember earlier, I had this issue with the vehicle. And on my way home...
Please obey all traffic regulations.
Shut up. It was bloody annoying constantly hearing that. Yes, I know, don't speed. I understand that, but it would just pop up with all kinds of things, school zones and all this, you're going in and out. Anyway, so Christo, the fellow who I dealt with to buy this vehicle, so he'd watched the video and then he'd made a video for me to watch and show me exactly how to disable it because it was a little bit complex, but I've got it done now. So good on you, Christo. And look, anyone else that's going down to Galleria Toyota specifically to buy a vehicle, go see Christo. Top bloke. Thanks, Christo. My current proper mods list goes something like this, if I was to do something right now. Side steps, after tyres of course, side steps, rock sliders. Because of what I did out there, it really highlighted the fact that on a stock vehicle, the most vulnerable area on this vehicle is in fact the ramp over angle. Your sills, your plastic cosmetic side steps, that's all they are. It's just to get in and out of your vehicle. They don't offer any protection. So those, I reckon, I'll change as one of the first mods that I'll do to this vehicle when I actually start modifying it, because that's going to protect the side of the vehicle. Less chance of me doing a door, less chance of me doing a seal. The rock slider will be cheaper than fixing the vehicle should I do any damage. So it's a smart move. Also on the front here, a bull bar is probably a good idea as well at some point. But for now, I'm actually surprised at the approach angle. The approach angle is actually really good for the stuff that I've tried in it so far. I've only collected it sort of down here. I've hit the dash pan a couple of times, but you know, that's gonna happen regardless. With the Hilux, where to from here? That's a good question. A lot of people have requested that I take it on a trip, stock, as a rock. I will do that. Now, by the time I go on this trip, I may in fact have the all-terrain tires on already. I would probably prefer that anyway. But if I don't have them yet, I'll still take them on a stock trip. But if I do have the tires and the smaller rims, then I will put those on before I go on that trip. But that's pretty much all I'm going to do to it. Now, I will get the tub liner in, because I don't want to scratch the back of it. But apart from that, that's how I'm going to take it out. I've already worked out what I'm going to do radio-wise. Let's just use a UHF like this one, and with this one I can clip it up like here. That's what Torbs always does, always wears it like that. You can just talk as he's driving. The other day when I headed out to White Gum Farm for a bit of testing, I ended up just having the radio just sitting on my jumper as well. So look, those are those small little things that you can get away with, so you don't have to get a UHF radio mounted to your vehicle. However, that being said, I've got something I can show you. This is something we use on our tag-alongs. If we have clients that don't have radios, they hire one of these from us. This is a suction cup mount one. Now, from my experience with this radio, it has about the same range as a handheld, maybe slightly more, only because this antenna sits on top of your roof. It's a magnetic one, so there you go. That is not a bad option either. Official fuel figures. I'm on my way to PDP to drop the vehicle off and swap it out for the Landcruiser because we're heading north tomorrow. The fuel light just came on. It says I have 42 kilometers left in range and I have done 658, so that magically adds up to an even 700 kilometers. I've been thrashing the guts out of it a lot early on. Towards the end, I have been just driving normally in eco mode, so but the first probably half of those kilometers have been sort of off-road, in the sand, playing around and thrashing the guts out of it. So I reckon if I babied it around, I could probably maybe get 750, maybe 800 out of a 70 litre tank. But as it sits now, it says 9.8 litres per 100, but if we round it up to what the gauge says I have left, that's 700 k's, 70 litre tank, we have 10 litres per 100. It's not bad compared to what I'm used to. Alright, so I've just arrived at PDP and we are going to drop the Hilux off and leave it here and grab the cruiser back because we're heading north. This is travel ready. This has nothing in it yet, and where I'm going, I don't want to take this yet. So when I come back, we'll be doing a trip in a Hilux. But there's another reason why I'm leaving it here. G'day, mate.
How are you, Ray?
Yeah,
Have you told this old girl about this new chick?
Oh, it's the curvy Hilux? No, I haven't. I've got something to tell you. I hope you don't get mad. So here we are, we're ready to swap the vehicles around. Just want to show you this. That there. We are going to work out how we can get this bracketry designed for the Hilux, because that is one of the first things I want to do to it as well. So stick that on the mods list. Diff breathers and fuel filtration. That's quite important. And it kind of low cost items too. So any full drive that's going to be traveling out in remote outback should have those, especially the fuel filter. But when it comes to diff breathers, that is a must, because even going through deep puddles, you may get water ingest into your diffs. And while everything's clean, get them in, make sure your diff breathers are up and out of harm's way too. Leaving the car here now. Now, if you see this Hilux getting around Wangara doing burnouts, it's not me, it's this fella here.
Yeah, Hilux, they're unbreakable, aren't they? We've tested on that big hill up there.
You said something about 37s.
Yeah, mate, we can fit them.
37s.
Body chop.
Yeah, get in there.
I don't know if I should be doing this.
Awesome. Well, it won't look the same when you come back.
See on the
Why
other
not
side.
drive the same?
Well, I'll swap it with 200 then. Oh yeah, I've missed that noise a little bit, I've got to say. Home, getting ready for my trip up north. When I get back, I'm going to jump back into Hilux and I'm going to do its maiden trip. Now, Travis from PDP is likely to join me on that trip. That way, at least I have a support vehicle so that I can try maybe some more of the difficult stuff and not have to worry about getting myself into mischief. Don't forget about the live show that's coming up, and I'm leaving you with some parting words from my drive back from Whitegum Farm. I talk a bit about modified versus stock. I've just finished driving, I'm on my way home, I had a lot of fun off-road, and what I want to talk about is the pros and cons of driving a stock vehicle off-road compared to a modified vehicle. A couple of things have really hit home because I've just been out in my stock vehicle. I have a highly modified vehicle as well, so I can relate to both sides here, and I can see some really strong points to make here. Point number one, driving a stock vehicle for as long as you can will make you a better driver off-road. It will make you think more and understand more about your four-wheel drive. If you just head out and you start modifying it straight away, where's the fun in that? And you don't know what you've actually improved, really. You've got a rough idea, but you don't really know. So drive your vehicle stock within reason. So that's the big pro of driving a stock vehicle off-road. You really got to think about it. You're gonna learn lots. You're gonna become a better driver. The con, if you push it too far, you may well cause vehicle damage. And when I'm talking vehicle damage, it's the fact that these side steps that most of these vehicles have, four-wheel drive vehicles, wagons, utes, whatever, side steps are cosmetic. They are there for kids to get in and out of the vehicle, or short adults. They're also there to bang your boots on to get the sand off, so you don't get as much sand and mud and dirt inside your vehicle. But when it comes to off-roading, they really don't do jack squat. The only thing, or the only form of protection they will offer you is soft sand. So you're not going to graze or, scrape your seals across sand and take the paint wetting off. That's about it. Should you go over a rock or a log too hard or too fast, you will bend that side step. And if you do it hard enough, you'll bend it up into your seals. You will do your seal. You'll do a panel perhaps. So that's the disadvantage of driving a stock vehicle off-road. You've got to be careful.